Yep. I'm sorry it took me so long to finally get this done. I went to Tokyo a couple of times. I went to Shibuya, which is like where they have lots of restaurants and karaoke and like all that stuff. And when I got there, it was so big. Like seriously, everything was so huge. Like the skyscrapers and the commercials, but the huge screens with on the side of the buildings were all those big TV screens that you see on TV. Yeah, with commercials playing on them and like music, and yeah, it was big anyway. And I went to a izakaya, which is a restaurant that serves alcohol, because not all restaurants serve alcohol here, which I think is a good thing. But yes, anyway, I went there with a Japanese person, so he showed me what they normally eat there, and he told me what the things were, and like if they're traditional, if they're new and stuff, and then he ordered things and helped me what to decide what to eat and so on, and it was really good, and I ate way too much food. And then when we went out from there, it was evening by that time, so like all the lights were on, and it was like shining. I don't know. It was like everything was drenched in this yellow light that just made it seem like everything was kind of floating together. Might have been partly because I wasn't wearing my glasses. Anyway. Then I also went to Shinjuku, which is not that far from Shibuya, and also very famous. Shinjuku is more of a cultural center than Shibuya, I think, because like there are all these different kinds of museums, and there is actually the Van Gogh painting from... No. The Van Gogh painting with the with the sunflowers is actually there in one of the museums, and parks, and yeah, a lot of different stuff, which I think is wonderful, but I haven't been to them yet, because when I went there, I went to the Gyoen Park, which is a huge park, not even kidding, it's gigantic. And inside the garden there are like several different kinds of gardens, like they have a English style garden, and then they have a Japanese garden, and then they have a different kind of a park. And in the Japanese style garden there was this pond, and inside the pond there was a turtle. So like there was seriously a wild turtle swimming around in the pond in the garden. It had red stripes, and I was like, Raph! They also had a greenhouse inside there, which was awesome, because they had all these tropical plants like banana and cocoa and aloe, and yeah, a lot of different things. And they had this like mini waterfall, and that was in the tropical forest part, and then there was a like desert part, which was really interesting. Like just looking through all of it was really interesting. They also had these big areas, like green areas, where you could just sit down and like eat an ice cream or kick a ball or something. A lot of families did that. It was really cozy, and it was such great weather as well. I also went to the Hanazono shrine, which I don't actually know that much about it, but it's a very pretty shrine in the middle of Shinjuku, with characteristic red paint on it. I always want to go to shrines and stuff, because I think that they're beautiful, as well as that they like the area around the shrines are always very calming, and I don't know, I just like it there. Last place we went to in Shinjuku was the Tokyo Metropolitan Government Building, which is apparently one of the tallest buildings in Tokyo, and it was quite cool. It was also a pleasant surprise that you didn't actually have to pay to go up there. So it was just to take the elevator up. Like there were two different towers of it, kind of. So you had either I think it was the west one and the east one. you could just see different things depending on where you are, but I only went up one. So when you got to the top of the building, there were these huge windows, and in front of the windows there were maps where it said like what different buildings it was that you saw from that place, and what was going on in those buildings, and so on and so forth, which was really cool. We went up there when it was just like about sunset, which was really cool, because we had like all of Tokyo in front of us, and then there was the sunset, and it looked pretty awesome. However, I do want to go up to another high building sometime and do it at night, because then I could see the whole city and just like see the lights pop up from everywhere. That would be really cool. See ya! Apparently everything wasn't filmed yesterday. My camera shut off the video, so it stopped after some time and I didn't get the end.